So in this video, let's talk about fullness. And I did touch earlier on in the previous video about hunger and how sometimes in the mindful eating, intuitive eating world, we tend to put these on a scale, and how we pay attention is like we notice and we see like how hungry am I and what does 1 mean and what is 10, and sometimes they're on the same scale. So hungry is from 1 and then like super hungry, and then when you put them on the same scale, 10 is stuffed. But if you put hunger and fullness, just to make it a bit complicated, onto different scales, we have 1 being not hungry at all and 10 being ravenous. And then we have fullness, and we have 1 being not very full at all and 10 being stuffed, which means that these scales are actually inverse and they overlap. So you would say that somewhere in the middle, so maybe when you are not very hungry and you've eaten, so say you might be at hunger level 3 or 4, your fullness level might also be at 4 or 5, in the middle there, before you move to eat too much, and too much is relative of course. So what maybe, and it's not always related to a particular portion size, because my fullness or my sense of fullness and how much I eat in a sitting would depend on how long it was since I ate my previous meal, what I have been doing, if I have been working out or been working really hard physically, maybe I've spent a long time in the garden, maybe I've been on a 5-hour hike or cycling or whatever it is, then I'm going to be able to eat more than if I have probably just sat in front of my computer working for the last 2 hours. And of course then the type of food, and this is where it gets really interesting, and this, when it comes to fullness, is my invitation for you to start exploring. So how does different types of food make you feel when it comes to fullness? And the tricky here as well, I think, is that if our digestive system is a little bit sensitive to certain foods, we might have a bloated feeling, so our stomach gets distended, and that might make us feel full or uncomfortable, but it mightn't necessarily be true fullness, because we might have only eaten a small amount of food. So realistically, it's not going to be, we're not going to be stuffed. And from here, you can also then extend your exploration to see how long does this type of food or this food combination keep me full. So different types of foods. So if you eat maybe just like a slice of toast with jam, how long does that keep you full? If you have an omelette with mushrooms and maybe half an avocado, how long does that keep you full? If you have a bowl of porridge, how long does that keep you full? For me, porridge never seems to last very long. But for somebody else, they get the whole morning out of it. And either way is fine, but the whole idea is to start exploring what works for you, and knowing then how you can switch this around, because sometimes maybe you know that it's going to be a while before you have an opportunity to eat, either because of availability or time or because you didn't bring something or whatever that is. So knowing how different foods affect you gives you a huge amount of flexibility. And then of course we can go on and talk about fullness in relation to overeating and the pace we eat, and when do we notice throughout the meal that we're moving from this sense of maybe being quite hungry, so that on our fullness scale might be a 1 or 2 or 3. We move along, and here it's great to pause as you're eating and check in. How full am I? And again, how do you know that? And then with the pausing, you have an opportunity to say, okay, maybe now I'm at a comfortable level. And of course I can switch from or change from meal to meal. And this is the beauty when we open up this place of exploration and curiosity, because we can see these and we can feel these sensations for ourselves in our bodies. And it takes a lot of practice, okay? So don't get too worried if you don't get this one right straight away, because it takes a lot of practice. And it's okay if you eat past fullness. That's totally okay. That's how we learn. So don't beat yourself up if you can't get it perfect, because when we work with mindful eating, perfection is kind of like an oxymoron, I think is the word. So just take away from this video would be to go and explore so like 1, how different types of food keep you full for different types of periods of time, and 2, start pausing within your eating experience throughout the meal, or even before you start eating if you're having a snack. So then you might start with how hungry am I, and then as you eat, kind of continuously asking you, stop every once in a while and say, how full am I? And then just notice. And sometimes we have to eat past that comfortable fullness just to know, just to learn our gauge. So that's my tips for today, for this video of exploring fullness. Thank you so much for watching.